Hello everybody, Michael colville-andersen here, urban designer, author, and host of the TV documentary series about urbanism, The Life-Size City. Welcome to the humble YouTube channel for The Life-Size City, and while you're there, please don't be shy to give us some love by liking and subscribing this video and many of the others on our channel. Today, I want to explore the wild and wacky world of car commercials. Car commercials are, by and large, works of fiction. Shiny new cars roaring down empty city streets, often at night, or just scarring their way across impressive, beautiful landscapes. Selling the dream, and really the emphasis is on dream here. Often good-looking people experiencing the freedom of the road. Advertising standards, man, you remember them? They don't seem to apply to the car industry and the commercials that they produce at all. This is a false image of reality that they present to us every single time. At the end of this clip, I'm going to show you a commercial that will show what it would be like if car commercials actually had to be truthful about their products. But first, let's hop back to 2007. It was around that time that the bicycle boom started and really kicked off. It was an amazing time. For the first time in generations, the bicycle was back in the forefront of the public consciousness. And I started tracking a tendency in advertising back then. I noticed that all of a sudden, really from one day to the next, bicycles appeared in ads for fashion brands, hotels, lifestyle brands, you name it. It was really, really cool. But something else happened too. The car industry and industries related to it started making commercials that openly ridiculed the competition, unashamedly. Not just bikes, but also walking and public transport in cities. It meant one thing, that the car industry was really scared of this new competition, of this increasing narrative about urban life, healthier, greener cities, and of course, all of our environmental concerns. So they allocated massive amounts of their advertising budget to produce high-end commercials that simply made fun of everybody else. Now I want to show you a few of these commercials today. Let's have a look at them, let's analyze them, let's maybe have a bit of fun with them as well. Now I'm pretty sure that this is the first one that I noticed. This is from Audi USA back in 2009. And I'm going to show you all of these films, these commercials, without any sound because of YouTube algorithms regarding music. But I'm going to link to them down in the description so you can see them in all their high production, expensive glory. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's see what Audi has to say. There you have it. Dorky guy on public transport on a sad-looking bus with bikes on the front, and then there's a guy riding his bike in the rain, getting honked at by that car, actually. And then a Segway. Why do you even include Segways in something about bikes and public transport? Oh, and then here comes the Audi, man. It roars past that hippie station wagon with the bumper sticker that says powered by vegetable oil. And it just blows on down the road to freedom. Look at that. The voiceover in the middle of that commercial was, everybody wants to do their part. Some people just have more fun doing it. The new Audi, whatever it was, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, having fun, right? Passing another car going uphill on a corner, okay? What this commercial is telling us is that everybody else, you're complete dorks. If you have a car, you're cool. And if you're an Audi owner, you get to just do whatever you want on the roads and completely forget everything about traffic safety, right? And the tagline at the end, you gotta love that. Diesel, it's no longer a dirty word. Really? Really though, isn't it still a dirty word with all these cities around the world banning diesel vehicles from their city centers because of the pollution and the environmental concerns? I think diesel is still a dirty word, and I think it's getting dirtier every single day. Sorry, Audi. All right, let's do the next one. This is Ford Mondeo from the UK. Man stares longingly at a car through the window and the voiceover says, I know I want it, but do I deserve it? Flashback through his day, through his life to really that most irritating moment in his existence when he has to share an elevator with a sweaty subcultural cyclist dude. And he realizes, oh my God, I deserve this car. So that was the catalyst for this guy. That was literally the worst thing that he could think of that has happened in his recent life. The catalyst is going to send him into years of debt and dependency on the automobile industry and all the industries built up around it. Really, that's That's as bad as it gets for this guy. I think this was a bit of a first world problem. I think this guy should just suck it up, buttercup. Do the next one. This one again is Audi. This is from Audi Finland, and it's just images of winter life up in the north of Europe. And oh, look at how difficult it is for these people just to get around, except for the guy in the Audi Quattro. And the text says, winter is coming. Don't resist it. I think the last subtitle there says, Finland, home of the Quattro. I'm just left wondering, how did the proud people of Finland and their ancestors survive for millennia in that climate without one of those Audi Quattros? We may never know the truth. Oh, people trying to walk on ice and, just survive in that climate. I think the Finns have had it figured out for a very long time. Last year, I went on a trip to Northern Europe to visit bicycle-friendly cities up near the Arctic Circle, Oulu in northern Finland. The city in the world that has the best winter cycling. 14% of the population ride bikes every single day in the winter. What did I do? I rode around on a vintage cargo bike from the 1950s throughout the city of Oulu. I rode down amazing bike paths and bike lanes, and I rode past bike racks packed with bikes because people were using them in the middle of deep, dark December. So yeah, Finland, home of the bicycle, home of public transport. There you go. You might have noticed a guy standing in the field there in Finland, staring longingly at the Audi as it blows past through the adverse weather down that road to winter freedom. People staring longingly at these products, at these cars, is really an angle that you see all the time. Let's do the next one. This one is for smart. Everything that could possibly go wrong on public transport goes wrong. Worst case scenario after worst case scenario. Oh man. And then right at the end, you see this young man staring longingly out the window. Oh, a car. All alone on the city streets. Yeah, like that's gonna happen. Oh, and he wishes, of course, that he had one of them. And then that tagline, all the benefits of public transport without the public. Okay, wow. Yeah, just wow. All the things we know and love and know to be true about cities and urban life and the urban fabric, man. No, we just throw that under the wheels of a goofy looking yellow car. And the slogan at the end, open your mind. Huh. Okay, isn't that what people are doing all over the world right now as we speak, opening their minds to other ways to get around a city instead of that one way that's been forced down our throats for decades? It's clear that smart is really afraid of public transport. Okay, next one. Let's remember that it's not just the car industry and car commercials. It's a deeply rooted perception of cars as a status symbol in life. This is from a lottery. I believe it's in New Zealand, showing a guy's boring daily life and what it would be like if you won the lottery, And right in the middle there, you have some classic bike bashing. Poor guy has to ride his bike in his suit to work and look like a dork with his reflective, vest thing on. And instead, he could be driving cars, cool cars, fun cars, right? And the soundtrack to this is Queen singing Don't Stop Me Now, the whole dream scenario of a better life, man, right there. Oh. Now, there are some other things on the dream scenario on the right that I could possibly get behind, but really bike bashing, making fun of bikes as this undesirable thing in cities, it is kind of lame. It's a weak approach even from this lottery in New Zealand. Okie dokie, let's move on. If you live in the state of South Australia, you have to buy your car insurance from the state's own insurance company. They're called MAC, M-A-C. And they did a series of commercials with a slogan at the end. This poor guy, he doesn't want to make it look like he's getting picked up by somebody, so he gets in the driver's side, awkwardly climbs over his mom, and even on the windshield it says "Lost Boy," and he's just so embarrassed that his mom has to pick him up because he lost his license. Lose your license and you're screwed. This was a massive campaign from this company, MAC, and by default, the state of South Australia, telling you that, you know what? Your license is absolutely everything. Life cannot go on without it. You have to have a car and buy your insurance from the state company, of course. But man, What kind of messaging is this? To the next one. Same organization, Mac, and classic making out on the back seat, you know, that never gets old. And we see all of a sudden that the young man is distracted by sounds, and we realize in the big reveal in this commercial that he is sitting in a taxi. And he's paying a fortune to do so, to make out with this girl. And it's the same slogan right at the end. Lose your license and you're screwed. Man, they just went with a shotgun after everybody else, bikes included. And with that one singular message hammered home every single time, lose your license and you're screwed. That is the society that we have built for you, that you are simply car dependent from the day you're born until the day you die. Good luck with that, South Australia. Or perhaps lose your license and, embark on a modern, healthy urban life following the tendencies that we're seeing in cities around the world, and you're going to do it with a lot more money in your pocket to do all of these cool things that you've always wanted to do. Ooh, this is from a car sharing company, Zipcar. They're owned by Avis Car Rentals in the States. I don't even know if they're still around anymore, but this was a campaign from a few years ago. A car is simply necessary. You can't do all these other crazy things without a car, you silly rabbit, huh? Stuff like this one, the canoe. So I thought about this, and I got like 30, 40,000 photos of people doing things on bikes in cities all over the world. A lot of it is in Copenhagen, but still. So I have seen kayaks being pulled behind bikes in Copenhagen on trailers. I just don't have a photo of exactly that. But here's one of a guy pulling his huge Christmas tree home on a bike trailer. It's about the same length. Point is, it is possible and it does happen. People are doing it. Then you have the band. These poor starving musicians have to take public transport with all their gear to some gig somewhere. I instantly thought of a photo I took a few years ago here in Copenhagen of a band of young starving musicians who are showing up at a cafe to do a gig. They have all of their gear on 2 cargo bikes. And I talked to them and they said, yeah, we just roll everywhere with our gear to all the gigs that we do. It's a thing. And then the next one, the classic shopping, right? Ooh, you can't shop if you don't have a car. Yeah, so just show up in Copenhagen or Amsterdam on a Saturday afternoon in peak shopping hours and you're gonna see something completely different. I got hundreds and hundreds of photos like this, but this is my bike coming home from IKEA one day. You get a back rack, a front rack, you can get really a lot of stuff on your bike. Oh, and then the 2 architects going to a really important meeting, have to present their ideas. She has the model of their proposal on her handlebars. They got all of their blueprints and everything else, their presentation. Oh, but man, they're just on bikes. Yeah, so that won't work. Okay, there are architects in countries like Denmark and the Netherlands and Germany who do ride bikes, who can figure out, again, this is just my bike again, it's sort of like the universal image I can use. You can put all this stuff on a bike if you get some game face and get the right bike for what you need it for, right? There's a bike that fits most things in most people's lives. Get one of those. Stop selling cycling as it's only this kind of bike that has ever existed and it's only good for one thing, riding. You can't do anything else on it. Oh man, really, seriously. The people who developed this marketing campaign, they should have researched a little bit more. They should get a passport. They should travel a bit more and see what goes on in the rest of the world instead of presenting this kind of false reality. Yeah. Okay, next one. This one. General Motors. It's not always about the high production value commercials that we see on TV or in glossy magazines. Sometimes there's more of a budget version, but the message is absolutely the same every single time. This is an actual General Motors ad for college discounts on car loans. Look at their messaging right here. Reality sucks. And down at the bottom, it literally says, stop pedaling, start driving. And look at the photo. This guy is so embarrassed he has to ride his bike to college, and hot girl in the car, is smirking at this dorky cyclist right there. What a loser, right? Now this was interesting because this hit a bit of a Twitter storm when it came out. I believe it was in 2011. And to GM's credit, actually I don't know if they should get any credit at all, but whatever, they decided to pull the ad and they apologized profusely. And I remember looking at their Twitter back then, it was just like, sorry to all of these people who were complaining. So that was kind of cool. But still, somebody approved this ad, and that is really shocking. And here's another one. This one is from Chevrolet in Colombia, but the message is the same. It's an ad for Chevy Plan. And what it says in all its simplicity in Spanish is, at the moment I ride a bicycle, but with Chevy Plan, I can now afford a car. Yeah, good luck to you, sir. Next. Now the next one here is from the German car rental company Sixt. And you'd think that a German company would know better. But no. The slogan there at the bottom is, to all those pioneers, idealists, eco-warriors, and saviors of the world, you don't have to ride bicycles anymore. Okay, wow. Talk about being out of touch with this urban age. Direct bike bashing right there, making fun of the people who have an environmental lean and focus on a different way of thinking for the future of our societies and our cities. Oh, straight to the point, Sixt. Wow, you're cool. Yeah, hit it. The next one here is from Ford in Poland. And as I understand it, the text at the top says Ford Transit, a machine for saving money. But then it goes on to say in the rest of the text, delivery bicycles do not exist. You don't need to switch to a bike in order to save money. Okay, I'm famously bad at math, but I really want to see how they calculated that fallacy right there. And hey, delivery bicycles do not exist. Okay, now fair enough. If you're a Polish person sitting there and reading this in your Sunday newspaper or in a magazine somewhere or on a billboard, you might think delivery bikes don't exist. Yeah, I haven't seen one. There's not many around here. And that is fair enough. Now, I took this photo in 2006 in Paris, years before Ford Poland published this ad of a delivery bicycle doing last mile deliveries in the densely populated neighborhoods in Paris. 2006. Now, it's becoming much more normal all over Europe. There are about 100 cities around Europe where you get your packages delivered by cargo bike. UPS here in Copenhagen, when that guy shows up, he's on a cargo bike parked out front. It's a thing, man. All the big companies are doing it. Ford Poland needs to do some research as well. You're also talking to a dude here who's published an entire book about cargo bikes. Cargo Bike Nation, right? 700 photos of cargo bikes in use in cities around the world. Now, this is just one of my many vintage photos of cargo bikes. This is from Russia in 1920, flour delivery, apparently. Hey, now I am not comparing Poland and Russia. I am not doing that at all, so do not comment on that in the comments, man. I'm just saying that cargo bikes have been around all over Europe and in Russia for more than a century. So claiming, as Ford Poland does, that delivery bikes do not exist, nah, false advertising. This is where advertising standards should be working. I mean, come on, man. Now, there are many other examples of this angle of ridicule used by the car industry and related industries. I noticed, however, a little bit of a new trend a few years ago in the way that they're selling their products. Demotorization is a thing. It's an actual word to describe how fewer and fewer people are getting their driving licenses when they hit that age. People are choosing to live urban life in other ways without a car or just having car share or whatever. So the new angle that I noticed from the car industry is like, hi, can we all just get along? Can we have a little bit of peaceful coexistence? This next commercial is a classic example. It was filmed here in Copenhagen, about a 10-minute bike ride from my house, and this is from Ford. And this one kind of irritated me, and I was all over this on Twitter, but I'll tell you why in a second. Urban life, funky urban public space there, man. Kids skateboarding, people doing all sorts of cool stuff, and a car drives past all these young skateboarders, and it rolls along this little road, and then you got all this yada yada snowboarding on one of our incinerators that you can actually ski down. Don't ask me why we even need that here. Never mind, back to the point. So Ford thinks it's okay, apparently, in this commercial to drive a car across public space, like a square where children are playing and skateboarding. That's okay. Yeah, we're just going to do that. Yes, it's a fake thing. It's a car commercial. You can do whatever you want. But still, it's still a message that they're sending there. Cars belong, right? We're all going to get along, and we're going to force our will to make that happen. And then you have at the end of that commercial, the car, the aerial shot of it driving down this road. You know what that is? That is a bike lane. They just simply photoshopped the bike lane symbols out and the dividing line and just let this Ford drive along a bike lane next to children playing on a public square. Oh sure, we can all just get along. Filming commercials in Copenhagen seems to be a popular thing to do. This is another ad. This is from Audi on exactly the same spot. Superkilen is where it's being filmed. This public space looks great from the air, looks really graphic. There is no car parking anywhere near this spot, but there they are. I added my own little flavor to it with some speech bubbles, letting them know what I thought about this approach. This is another one. This was a big campaign from Audi. They had so many different photos of their car parked in various locations in Copenhagen, more often than not breaking one of our traffic laws like this, parking on a sidewalk, right? Oh, it looks great, right? Super cool photo. But it is the underlying message that is important. We got to remember that. If this is the coexistence that they're hoping for and betting on, this is something I want no part of at all. Now this is another commercial filmed here in Copenhagen by the French car company Situan, and this guy's just driving around the city, and all of these local citizens, all these Copenhageners are going, oh my God, look at that car. There's no exhaust coming out of it. Oh, let's all ride after it, like, you know, the Pied Piper of Hamelin, right? We're all gonna follow this car. This is false in so many different ways. Believe me. First of all, Copenhageners don't smile that much. They're not going to show their exuberance or point at you and talk to each other about something that happens on the street. No, this is not very Nordic behavior at all. Also, I don't think anybody would be that impressed to see this car. And I have a funny story from a few years ago here in Copenhagen. I'm waiting at the red light on my bike, and there's about 60 cyclists at that light cycle. There's about 30 or 40 pedestrians just off to the right there. And I heard the sound of a motor, of a supercar motor. And I looked and I went, oh my God, there's a Lamborghini, right? A yellow Lamborghini sticking out like a sore thumb in Copenhagen. Now, I know what it's like in other cities. I've seen it where a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something like that comes rolling down a street, man. Everybody's taking photos of it, you know, and whoa, dude. And it was rolling past. And I looked around and nobody reacted. Everybody's just sitting on their bikes, you know, looking at the light, waiting for it to change. Nobody went, oh my God, a Lamborghini. That guy who owns that Lamborghini has it for that reason. Look at me, look at me, look at me. It must suck to drive a Lamborghini in Copenhagen. So yeah, that film. All right, next one here is from Kia in Canada. Car in the woods, car in the city streets, and then the smooth male voice tells us, the Kia is perfectly capable of owning any road, but prefers to share it. After all, we started out making bicycles. Sharing, that's how we could all drive change. And then you cue the film crew filming by bike there, a little bit of greenwashing going on, but listen to the very carefully worded voiceover. What did the guy say? It's capable of owning any road, but we're gonna share. It's our road, but we're gonna try and share it with other forms of transport like bikes. No mention of, you know, physically separated infrastructure based on best practice. No, that was their message from Kia in Canada. Come on, everybody, big warm hug. Bring it in, big warm hug. We're all in this together. It's our road, but we'll let you use it for a while. So that was a little walk through the weird world of car commercials and hopefully highlighting how they are afraid of the competition and also just trying to make sure that it's okay that they can stick around in our cities in this increasingly post-automobile world. Now, the direct ridicule approach has abated a bit over the past few years. If you know any examples from where you are anywhere in the world, man, post them in the comments. I'd like to keep track of this. Now, I was thinking, what would it be like if car companies were forced to be truthful about their products and the consequences of their products on generally society, public life, public health? So a friend of mine made one of those, and I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to link down to it in the description so you can see it with the music, which I'm not playing here, as I said before. But check it out. Let's see what real advertising would be like if we forced the car industry to tell the truth. But isn't it just an interesting point, something that we should be thinking about, how the automobile industry really presents this fake reality when they're selling their products? They should be held to stricter standards, given the fact that their products have so many other consequences to our societies, to the public health, and many of them are negative consequences. If you're selling milk or orange juice or bread or a computer or whatever else it is, sure, you can be a little flexible in your storytelling, but you still have to stick pretty close to the topic. I don't believe that the advertising of the car industry is held accountable in the same way that so many other products are. See you next time. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.